Yeah. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, all light workers and way showers. Thank you again for joining me in my interview. Now, I know I had been for a long time off the air. It's because I was pretty busy, just like everybody else. I've also been attending a lot of Zoom talks and conferences to upgrade my knowledge and stuff like that. And it has been like a 5 day course, 2 hours per day, and lots of homework to do. Anyway, so I am Hakyo, and this is my channel, Consciousness Shift. So today I have with me a lovely lady, and her name is Medina Labakan. And I would ask Medina to introduce herself. Carry on, Medina.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Hawk. And I just want to say I'm really honored to be able to chat to you today. And I really appreciate the opportunity to express my truth. And it's a really important time, I think, for us to be able to share at the moment, especially when there's so much censorship and disinformation out there as well. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, a little bit about myself. I'm from just outside of Melbourne, Victoria, in Australia, which is a bit of a hot spot at the moment. If you know about the high level of restrictions that are happening here for I'm not quite sure how much I can say because I don't want to get censored, but for the situation of what people are talking about as a virus that's going around. And so I am an energy healer. I have a website with a lot of information. It's with my name. I'll give that to you at the end if people want to check it out. But I am also very much a light worker, I guess a teacher, spiritual teacher. I have a USA radio show in Healthy Life Network, it's called. And so that's a lovely platform to be able to share uplifting information, how people can upgrade their lives. And I think that sort of thing's really important at the moment as well, with everything that we're going through. So it's a blessing to be able to have that platform. And also I'm highly creative. So I've got one of my paintings behind me there, Tree of Life, and I love colour. So all my paintings are explosions of colour. And I also write music and have recorded music. I've got that on my website as well. I've written books. And so, yes, I like to express myself, creatively as well. And I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, oh yeah. It's interesting that you have a radio show in the US. So how do you get that going on, Medina?
Sure. Well, I heard on the grapevine on social media that they were looking for a host a while back. And I have previously had two radio shows, community radio shows that were primetime radio shows in around Victoria. So I love radio. It's a great outlet,
Oh,
wonderful way to be able to uh, express your authentic self to the world. And I love music as well, so perfect for me. And I really enjoyed those. And then I heard that there was this host position available in this radio show in the US. So I contacted the network owner, and it was really interesting actually, because what she did was she went in and she read my energy. She went in and she read my energy field, and she felt that I had a high frequency and a lot of light, and that I had something that would be valuable to share, you know. So I felt very thrilled when she gave me that, you know, energy review,
Wow.
and then invited me to have the show. And some of the hosts actually are pretty incredible. So I was in amazing company, and I've really enjoyed that outlet uh, for being able to express what I think is really important in terms of our soul evolution, because I think we're all here to evolve as souls, and that is really our primary priority at the moment, to really raise our uh, frequency, raise our vibration, raise our inner level of knowledge and evolution and spirituality. So uh, that's always been my goal, and all the different ways that I exist in the world and that I work with others are here to promote that and to empower us as sovereign beings. Really important to be in our sovereignty now and step more and more in our sovereignty. In fact, this pushback that we're getting from the authorities and the beings that are trying to control us is actually pushing us to step more into our sovereignty and to empower ourselves and to embrace the divine infinite beings that we are.
Yeah, you mentioned about writing and composing musics and songs, and what is your musical background, Medina?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question. Well, I can't say I'm highly trained in terms of theory with music, but I've always sung since I was a tiny little thing. And then when I was in primary school, I was asked to be sort of the lead singer of the primary school group, and we did a stint on a talent show on national TV, and I sang solo. And then when I was in secondary school again, I was asked to sing solo, and then I just started writing songs and performing. And then so I didn't have any specific training. I did do opera singing briefly, but I've always just sung. And then I had some guitar lessons and wrote music on the guitar, and that's how I wrote music. But when I performed, I would just focus on singing. I'm not one of these people that can do two things at once when I'm performing. So I don't play guitar and sing at the same time. In fact, apparently Mariah Carey, not that I'm saying I'm anything like Mariah Carey, of course, but apparently she plays guitar, but she's only ever focused on singing. So I can relate to that. So yeah, I just would stand and sing. And I would find that it was interesting because the essence of who you are is expressed in everything that you do. So the songs that I wrote were quite healing. And when I would do concerts, I would always often have people that in the audience that would cry spontaneously, and it was like healing tears, and it would bring up the energy to shift and transmute and heal. So there is that, you know, vibration in the sound quality of my voice, and that is who I am. You know, it's someone who is a spiritual healer and very interested in serving humanity in that way.
Oh, wonderful. Well, talking about music is very interesting to me because I never had any music abilities. I was kicked out of a music class because I was so bad.
Was that your singing voice? Did they kick you out because your singing voice wasn't good?
No, no, it wasn't singing. I was just playing some simple instruments that was in primary school.
Oh, oh, isn't that over there? They should never do that. They should fully encourage all children to express themselves in whatever they choose.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nevertheless, I love listening to music, and of late, I discovered that classical music is fantastic because I do calibrate music in my own way, and my calibration of classical music showed that the vibration is very, very high. And it was also well known among some of my light worker friends that classical music, if you put it on, it will drive those evil spirits crazy.
Really? Oh, that's very interesting. I know it activates neural pathways in your brain, and it actually creates an expansion of your consciousness
Yeah, I'm not
because it
joking.
activates
Yeah,
different
I'm not
things.
joking here because very few people know of this fact on classical music. And in
Yes.
fact, I have had heard many stories about people putting on some prayer music or prayer chants of
Mm.
whatever religion. It could be, this or that, but it actually don't drive away this negative energy, but it attracts the negative energy because um, the negative energy wanted to sort of be closer to it to get more sort of blessings. So
Yeah.
yeah, so now the trick is play your classical music.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love, when I'm painting, actually putting on classical music
Oh,
because it's very stimulating in that way. And I think it's a fantastic to encourage people to, if they can and they're feeling a bit flat or they want to raise their frequency or mood, to just have really beautiful high frequency music playing in the background.
yeah,
It can really help, the 432 hertz,
yeah,
looking at the solfeggio frequencies and matching the frequency to what you need, because all the different solfeggio frequencies do different things. And so, for example, if you're feeling a bit depressed, there's one that will lift your mood or do whatever you need. So I think you can just Google it, on YouTube too. For example, say you're feeling frequency for feeling sadness, and for transmuting sadness, and then it will tell you what the frequency is that you need, and then you just play that, and it really can shift things. I think that's really powerful at the moment when people are finding it challenging. I know in Victoria here, Melbourne, there is probably some of the most extreme, restriction measures in the world, and it creates a feeling of being in prison or being oppressed, and so people need to really dig into all their toolkit and work with whatever they can. I know we are also, as we're working toward our ascension, we're going through waves of shifting all the things that we need to heal within ourselves. And I know for the last few days I've been feeling it quite strongly, and so trying to tap into my toolkit of all the things I can do to really shift that energy and to transmute it. And so I know everybody that I talk to here is doing the same, and they're having like waves of challenging energy come up, and then they're having to work through that, and then you'll have periods when you feel good, and then it'll come up again. So all the things like music are very powerful.
yeah. Since we are talking to mostly people of the light in this channel, and I would like to point out something which is also very important, but not many people realize, is that many of these music on YouTube, you got to be very careful, Medina, because as I told you, I calibrate and I check frequencies of almost anything when I have the time.
Yes.
And some of the YouTube music that would say a certain solfeggio frequency,
Yeah.
right? When I check it, it is not really. So discernment is so important. Is when you listen to the music, you got to know how your heart feels if you can't calibrate it.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say that too. There's a lot of deception out there, isn't there, Hock?
Yeah, yeah,
So I hear what you say, and it all comes down to how it feels. If it lifts you up and feels really lovely, and makes your heart feel good, then that's great. But if it doesn't do anything, it's neutral, or allows your energy to drop, then there's something that's not resonating. Yeah, very
yeah.
good point.
And lately, it's only about a couple of weeks ago that I've started to investigate Australian Aboriginal didgeridoo music, and basically all the videos I've seen and heard are of good vibration. But there are one or two which is stated that trance music, you know, trance
Yes,
music,
yes, yes.
trance as in trance, being in trance,
Yep, yep.
didgeridoo music, and there's one particular one that I detected it to be really, really put you in a state of trance. And to me, at that time, I think I better get out.
Well, yes. Oh no, that's not good. The some of their didgeridoo music is very good for it's like the beat of the earth, like
Mm,
it's a grounding energy,
mm,
and it's like the base chakra energy,
mm,
helping you to ground. So
mm.
some of it can be very good in that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just for our listeners, when I say I calibrate music, I use my own scale,
Yes.
uh, and classical music would range about the vibration of positive 100.
Yes.
Uh, Music composed by Mary Magdalene, which I have been always in constant contact. Uh, I tell you, her composition, her music is beyond our cosmic world, because it calibrates up to about 500,000 and above.
Wow.
So
Wow.
now you can see, right? And
Difference.
then some of the music is just plus positive one or positive two. Classical, the best classical is positive 100,
Yes.
and then it goes on and on and on.
Are you able to leave a link below to some of that Mary Magdalene music for people? Are they able to access it?
I'll try to, because I have to look it up um, about her website and so on. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah. I
sure.
don't keep this info, Medina.
Sure.
I'm
And
terrible,
yeah,
because I will write
yeah,
it somewhere, either in
yeah.
my computer files or on a paper, and I couldn't find it. And
Oh,
and Mary Magdalene would contact me honestly, and we discussed a lot of things, and she would ask me to calibrate some of music, because recently they had a music orchestra performance in the eighth dimension, and the basic idea is called the music of the spheres, and it was for to bring peace to the cosmos. As
oh,
you
how
know,
divine.
yeah, as you know, there's a lot of wars, both
Yes.
off planet, on the planet, and underground, and
Mm,
stuff like that. It's very complicated. So anyway,
mm.
that's our music discussion.
Can I just ask you as well, was there particular classical composers that you felt calibrated higher? For example, Mozart or
Oh, I,
Tchaikovsky, or were there particular
yeah,
ones?
I haven't looked into that, because I was just when I was listening to any classical album, then I would calibrate it, and I don't
Yes.
keep records, you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because first of all, it takes a bit of energy, my energy and my time and my concentration
Yeah.
to do calibration. It's really tough work.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we can talk a little bit of a world update to get people updated on current situation, because actually we are living really in very, very interesting, exciting, and important timelines.
Yes, and for a lot of people, as I mentioned before, it's quite challenging, because light workers and empaths, for example, can be really feeling it, and also when people have these, restrictions and lockdowns, I think, they really feel it. I mean, I had a lovely friend whose mother passed in a nursing home, and she hadn't been able to visit her for months because she wasn't allowed, and the mother died thinking that the children didn't care,
Oh,
because they weren't able to visit. I mean, these sorts of really traumatic, quite devastating things for people are happening here, and so how do we transmute that? How do we rise above that? How do we we don't want to be holding a low vibration, because then the negative energies and entities feed into that, and then they use that to feed themselves. So we don't want to be holding those lower frequencies, and we don't want to be in fear with all the information coming about all the things that are happening, and what could be the potential timelines. So we need to be able to have ways that we can stay high frequency but still be aware of what's happening, and also I think to, as much as we can, to proactively contribute to shifting all the negative potential timelines and potential outcomes.
yeah, and maybe I would like to summarize the situation now uh,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, as much concise as I can in our discussion, so that people listening to us will get a better concept. Is it okay, Medina?
Oh, absolutely. I love to hear. I'm looking forward to hearing myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I make this conclusion after observing it, the whole situation since the COVID outbreak in March. And as a matter of fact, to bring before March, in December, I was already being warned indirectly, but at that point in time, I didn't know what exactly was the message, because out of the blue, I decided to check out whether I can go traveling. I never do that, but on that December of 2019, I decided to, just check it out. And I was given a warning and said that don't travel
Yeah.
in December, Medina. And I couldn't get any more insight. And I said, can I go north? No. Can I go south? No. Can I go east? No. Can I go west? No. Stay home? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I canceled all my holiday plans. We were all looking forward to that.
Mm.
And because Chinese New Year, we have great plans.
Yes.
And then even then, I wasn't sure what was going on. Okay,
Mm.
now fast forward to today. It seems to me that this whole COVID thing is very complicated, but it can be reduced to a couple of important inferences. Number
Mm-hmm.
one is that it's a depopulation control,
Mm.
but it didn't turn out to be what they intended. That means to say, the so-called virus isn't that lethal as they wanted it to be, believe me. And there are many reasons for that. And I can say that the galactics have a hand in attenuating uh, the pathogen.
Mm.
So what we're seeing now is actually a far less devastation, thank God.
Mm.
Number two is that it's also a plan to wreck the world economy with all these lockdowns. And recently, as recent as I think about 3 or 4 days ago, WHO actually retracted their advice on lockdowns.
Mm.
Yes, they did.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
Yes, and
I think it was through threat of a lot of legal action that's starting to be present
correct.
for them.
Yeah,
Class act.
correct. So,
Mm.
so uh, that's the one of the latest update. But the other
I
thing,
totally agree with everything you said so far.
thank you. The other
Yeah.
thing is fear. Fear is our most dangerous enemy because when you have fear, you reduce your immune system, you reduce your vibration, and you attract these protomolecule. I don't like to call it COVID because it's really a protomolecule.
Mm.
It has got a big story behind that, but I'm not going into it. Why I call it a protomolecule. Uh, a friend of mine actually said that it is a program. you know,
Yes.
a virus
Yes.
is a program.
And you get it when you are a certain hertz, like a certain frequency that is a lower frequency. If you vibrate higher, you're not energetically going to align or vibrate with it, so it won't be able to attach to you.
Exactly. That is why uh, I've always advised whoever I know never to have this fear,
Mm.
in you. Okay, just carry on your daily life to what you can, and don't think about it, and
Yeah.
don't dwell upon it. Uh, and I've already stopped long ago looking at the statistics. I'm not interested in those statistics.
And
And
they're often fake anyway.
yep, yep. Especially, it's very funny because in the US right now, the statistics actually is questionable. They like to jack it up because they want to push up the fear factor.
Mm. Mm.
you know
Absolutely. Yeah.
and while other countries may want to not report it fully, you know so it is very very funny, honestly. So the statistics are all not accurate. The test itself is also not that accurate. And then the lockdowns is actually to also to destroy the economy, and I'm very sad that it has actually done a lot of damage.
Mm.
Now, the game plan, it seems that when they do this lockdown and destroy businesses from small to large companies, then you will have to borrow money to survive your business, and that's where you are trapped again in debt.
I think the other factor too is that they're wanting to centralize everyone to have to be able to only gain their financial remuneration from like the government or a centralized agency, so that there aren't these separate individualized businesses. That's also part of the agenda.
Yes, in fact, it's actually a takeover
Mm.
of businesses. All right.
Mm.
So then there is this talk about some countries are saying that everything will be okay once we get the vaccines out. That's also a very big no, because I'm not talking about other vaccines. I'm talking particularly on the COVID vaccine.
Mm.
Um, it's being rolled out too fast, too soon, too hasty, and a normal kind of vaccine that we used to have takes about 10 years or 5 to 10 years to develop safely
Yeah.
and effectively. That's one point. The other point is the companies involved have been, by law, made not liable. Can you beat that? You know.
That's
So
right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. A lot like a lot of the politicians here too,
yeah,
is putting in laws so that they're not liable.
yeah. So and it's a very sad if state of affairs because there's a lot of people who believe in that the vaccine would set them free, which is not. There is now available nanotechnology, nanobots, can be incorporated.
Can I say too? I think it boils down to people want to um, sort of have less fear about what's going on. So when you think the government and the way that the 3D matrix is set up, it's there to support you and help you. That's easier for people to integrate and to understand than to think that they're actually doing the opposite, that they're here to depopulate and they want to get rid of us and they don't care about us at all. It's easier for them to accept that the vaccine is there because these people are helping us, because it has less fear for them to think that way. And I think that's what it boils down to. You have to be courageous to really face the truth that the world isn't what we thought it was, and that people, humanity, there are a small group of people that are here with very nefarious agendas. The majority of people are good, but there are these ones that have that, and that's very hard for people to integrate because it's pretty bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah. Then the on the technological aspect of this vaccine, one of them is making use of messenger RNA and
Yes.
DNA nucleic acid, and then this can really damage your own DNA and also make you like a transhuman. That is just like a, a GMO product, you know.
Yes, it cuts off your God connection, your divine
Exactly.
connection, so
Exactly.
that you can't feel anything
Yeah.
and that you're completely controllable and programmable because you therefore don't stand for
Yeah.
anything. And
Exactly.
completely agree with you. And yeah, that's the purpose behind them. They've put in all these
Yeah.
different aspects that have actually never been in vaccines before, that many different ways of really dumbing us down as spiritual beings, and as stopping our evolution, our ascension, and also so that we can be um, utilized by them in like a slave sort of mentality way.
Yeah. So the good news.
Which we're all waiting for. Yes, please.
Yeah. It's now time to raise up a vibration and frequency.
Yes, 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 yes.
The good news is that me and my friends uh, are working on the vaccine thing, and we are looking into it so that there will not be a mandatory implementation.
Yes,
So we're still working on it in our special ways. All right, it's a
beautiful.
lot of work, and a lot of us are involved. So
Yeah,
in the meantime, what are the ways of improving our own immune system? So I'm just going to go very, very quick, very, very briefly, because I think many people have already known this. Zinc tablets is very good.
yeah.
Vitamin C.
Yeah.
You can have ginger in your diet or turmeric, and
Mm-hmm.
then lemon, lime for vitamin C, and fish oil, which is an anti-inflammatory agent, right? So that stops from blood coagulation,
Yeah.
etc. Even cayenne pepper is very good. So increase your doses of these easily available natural stuff to improve your immune system. All right,
Yes.
Medina.
So important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, we should all be focusing on being at our highest health level, detoxing our bodies, eating as much vegetables, fruit, and organic produce
Oh
as
yeah.
possible,
Mm.
not processed foods,
Mm.
filtered waters, and like you say, these extra additions that raise our ability to combat anything that comes at us, and uh, keeping your mood frequency high, doing what you love. Um, yeah, really important. I think energy, being really conscious of energy at the moment too. So anything that really drops your frequency or makes you not feel good, disconnect. It's time to have really strong boundaries now. Only allow energies in that raise us. Very, very important.
Yep. So I'm glad that we have made some discussions that is of value to people, to reassure them that things are not as bad as it seems. And well, this is October. Soon 2020 will be over. What's in front of 2021 seems we will wait and see.
So can I ask you, Hop,
Yeah.
in terms of the, it's very intense at the moment. I think within 6 months we'll start to feel things lightening up quite considerably. Is that your feeling?
Yes, because in my own investigations and in my own prediction is that October will be intense,
Yeah.
definitely worldwide.
Mm. Yeah.
November, you will see the virus situation easing off. And in December, is almost like back to normal.
Yeah.
That is what I foresee.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. uh,
And there's more and more disclosure too about the dark agenda and the people that are in working on
yes,
that side of things. There's more and more information coming up about all that, and I feel that that's building. There's a momentum building there,
yep,
and so that these people, they can't sustain that long term because people are awakening. They're seeing all this power, control, corruption happening more and more, and hopefully people will, and Australians are generally pretty passive. They're lovely, they're chilled, they're relaxed, but they're quite passive. Hopefully they'll hit a point where we collectively will all be able to really stand together in our empowerment and say, no, we do not consent. This is not the will of the people. And also we're more informed about, what is actually assisting us as human beings, and what are our human rights and what aren't our human rights, because we're seeing so many of our human rights being flagrantly um, ignored at this point.
yeah. um, so, is there anything that comes in mind, Medina, that you want to talk about?
Well, I would like to mention to people there's a wonderful website that tells people all about what's happening in Victoria and in Australia at the moment. And there's a whole group of people working voluntarily to put this information out there, and they're doing an amazing job. It's called guardiansofsovereignty.com.au. So I'd love people to go to this site and check it out, guardiansofsovereignty.com.au. And all these people are working from their heart voluntarily to raise awareness of everything that's going on. So it's a brilliant site. A lot of work's been put into that, and amazing people behind all that. And I'd also like to say that, there are things like class actions. In Australia, there's a lady called Serene Tefaha, and she has called a legal business called Advocate Me. And when you Google Advocate Me, you can join class actions as individuals and as businesses to stand up for your rights. And then there's other people in Queensland, there's a wonderful lawyer called Rob Greeley, who's also doing a class action for businesses. So if anyone out there knows of anyone or are someone in that boat, feel welcome to contact me through Hawk, and I can put you in contact, or you can Google Advocate Me and Serene Tefaha. So there's some amazing ways that we can all actively make a difference. You can write to all your politicians. You can call your politicians. You can call your journalists. You can write, or I don't know if you can call them and contact them directly, but you can write to journalists. You know, journalists need to stand up as well here. You know, they have a moral responsibility. And then you've got the people like the police and the authorities, you know, in ways that we can tell them that we want to work together. We want to support one another. We're all human beings, and we don't want to be against one another. We pay them to support us. We don't pay them to abuse our rights. And this is what we see happening more and more here in Australia. And it's not on, you know. Where do they think that they're able to do that? I don't understand that. As a compassionate human being, it's just not on. So everyone, I feel, can contribute in their own way, and now is the moment to really do that. This, if not now, never, because this is the moment that's going to make the difference. So I feel in Australia, it's all great to be chilled and relaxed, but because of everything that's happening, that we're seeing happening, I mean, there were 4 babies that died because they couldn't cross the border from South Australia to Victoria to get the medical treatment that they needed, and they had heart conditions, and all these 4 babies died unnecessarily because they were not allowed to cross the border. I mean, this is not on. We can't accept this in this country. It's just not on. So, you know, for anyone who's listening, if you want to contribute more, Guardians of Sovereignty is a great way that you can do that. They have work that you can do administratively and so forth. So, you know, there's always something that you can do. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Medina, because relaying this important information to the people out there, and especially in your country, you know, it will help a lot, you know. And
Thank you.
on the individual basis, I think the message I get is that even if you think in your mind a better tomorrow, that would help raise the vibration
Yes.
of the whole consciousness. And not
Yes.
only that, because at the moment we're almost approaching 5th dimension.
Yes.
And that's where the power of thinking is so powerful that you can bring it into reality. So what you realize in yourself, what you manifest in yourself, will be manifested outside.
That's a perfect way to finish our discussion, because envisaging what you want to create is like exactly like you said, it's going to draw it in. And that's what we all need to be putting a certain percentage of our time now toward doing, you know, meditating on how does the world look that you want to go into, and feeling like you're already there. It is done. And that is incredibly important. You're creating the platform to step onto that reality, and the energies are very, very strong at the moment to support you in doing that. And it's a real antidote to this 3D matrix that we're in. Don't focus all your energy on that, because even though we can see all this happening and we're aware of it, and we're going to try and, you know, do what we can to be proactive, we also need to do the other stuff, which is envisaging the ascension energies and how they're going to look for all of us, and feeling the joy and the love and the peace that comes with being in that reality. And it comes not only from the head, visualizing it, but from the heart, feeling it. And when those two come together, they meet in the you know, the emotions in the sacral chakra and the mind, and they come together in the heart. And that's the point of manifestation, where we draw that reality in. So fantastic advice there, Hock. And it's been such a gift to talk to you today, and thank you for everything that you're doing too. You do amazing work, so thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Medina. One final thing I like to add on before we sign off is that people don't realize how powerful they really, really are.
Mm,
They
mm,
have
true.
forgotten that fact, you know. So
Oh,
time to
absolutely.
claim back your power. Am I right?
Oh, oh, 100%. Can I say that I was listening to a talk that just really hit home for me how powerful we are when I heard this talk. And they said in this talk that in every cell in our body is a galaxy. You are made up of galaxies. You have the whole cosmos in your entire being. Can you imagine the infinity of that? And we think that we're small little human beings, that, you know, we don't make a difference. No, no, no. That is the program that we have been conditioned to believe from the people that want to control us. And so when we really understand that that is a mind programming thing that's been put into us for a certain reason, then you can embrace the truth that you are um, a master, a spiritual master, and that you are divine, you are God, you have God within you, and nothing less. And as soon as we all feel the energy of that, and what that actually means is the minute that the planet transforms.
You put it down wonderfully. Okay,
Thank
I just
you.
want to add one more point.
We're really working together on this, aren't we? It's wonderful, playing off each other,
Yeah.
and yeah, wonderful synergy happening with us. Yeah.
So I want to say this little thinking that I have to make people realize how powerful they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's go back to when we were young and then we were in a circus and we saw the lion trainer in a huge cage of with lions and tigers. And with a crack of the whip, the trainer can make these ferocious animals do what they have to do, you know, jump across fire rings and so on and so on. You know, I realized one thing. We humans are just like these lions and tigers in the circus. We didn't know that we are so powerful because we just one swipe of the lion's paws at the trainer and the trainer is gone. You don't have
Yes.
you don't even have to bite him, you know. So the lions and the tigers don't realize this, that they are so strong and powerful. All right.
Yes.
So they are being
Yes.
controlled by the trainer with his whip.
Mm,
So we
mm.
have now got to break through this concept that we are so powerless.
Oh, so true. You know, I saw an analogy, a metaphor, as you were talking, which is when you have an elephant in a contained area and it just has like a strip
Ah,
holding the elephant in, and the elephant thinks, "Oh, I can't go any further because that's my boundary that I
yeah.
have to do." All it has to do is take one step, and that strip's gone, and it can get out and it can go anywhere. But because that little tiny strip is around, it thinks it's contained. And so that came to me as you were talking.
Wonderful. So these two analogies that Medina and I have spoken of give you a concept, ladies and gentlemen, of how powerful you are actually. So break
Yes,
through that chain, break through
yes,
that mind control,
yes,
and you will be powerful. So
yes.
thank you once again, Medina.
Oh, thank you. So lovely to chat with you, Hock. Thank you so much. It's been a real joy.
And
Thank you.
in my normal, usual manner, I will finish off with these blessings. Oni to fo. Bye.
Oh, thank you. Bye.